What's going on, everybody? It's the Kreation DJs podcast. I am DJ Jamal. This right here is the man, the myth, the legend, DJ Jtorcher.
I'm just a guy, man. I'm just a guy. Don't believe it. Don't believe the hype. I'm just a guy. Promise.
So we're going to start off this episode today by talking about DJ life, balancing life, this business life with the family life. It's
tough.
It is difficult. It's very difficult. I think you have to have somebody willing to be completely supportive of what you're trying to do. Because it's a lot of sacrifice involved when you get busy, and when you're not busy, when you're not out rocking the crowd, when you're not DJing a wedding, when you're not doing a club, when you're not doing a prom. The prep work behind the scenes that a DJ has to focus on in preparation for doing whatever gig he's doing. That's the even bigger sacrifice than being away from home to make the money, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a lot to it. It's a whole lot to it. I mean, people see us show up and play music, and they're like, oh, that's easy. It's a lot deeper than that. I mean, wedding preparation, technically, if you really want to get technical, starts a year in advance, 6 months in advance. We don't really start focusing on it until it gets closer, but you're already prepping for that bride and groom, trying to learn their style. And we go as far as sometimes going, if they allow us and they give us their social media, kind of see what things they like and help curate towards them. But I mean, doing a wedding versus a nightclub, like I said again, I love being in the clubs, but I'm home before midnight.
Amen. So that's one of the greatest things about it.
Yeah.
Getting home early.
Yeah. And I ain't got to chase a promoter for money.
I definitely don't have. I mean, I've had my experience with that, but obviously, the longer you've been in the game, the more likely it is that you've got some horror stories.
I got a lot, but
I've got a couple, but not.
Yeah, the balancing that, and so when you get into the wedding and private event industry, a lot of DJs believe, oh, I can still do clubs, I can still do this, and you can. Don't get me wrong. It's every now and again, because if you're truly invested in the private events and wedding side, and you're doing it correctly,
right,
you don't have the time to focus on a club or worry about a club. And there's times where I've DJed in a club on a Friday night and got up the next day and did a wedding.
Yeah.
And listen, that ain't for the weak.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because with a wedding, you have to be fully locked in, fully focused, and that can transpire to your home life. It's like, because, you got kids, you got a wife, you got a significant other. They need their time too, but you're also growing a business.
Right.
And like you said, if you don't have somebody who understands what's going on, or not even understands what's going on, just not involved.
Yeah, because a lot of girlfriends and wives won't understand what it really is that you have to do in preparation to do this wedding thing right. And like, to me, you have to treat everyone like it's the Super Bowl, like it's Game 7.
Yeah. Because it is.
Right.
And every one of them's different.
You've got somebody's special day in your hands every time out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, on top of the regular DJ work, when you're downloading and you're analyzing files and you setting cue points, getting ready for a wedding is another monster.
Just my process alone of how I put music in my computer. And that's what allows me to DJ the way I DJ. Like I'm giving the sauce too early, I think, but
well, because
most DJs will download music, and this is why my wife understands what I do, because she has seen me do this prep work, and you've seen me a few times too, and a few other DJs, and they're like, "This is what you do." I'm like, "This is why I'm able to do what I do out there." Is I'll download music, put it into a crate. It's not in all my other crates, and I will go through each song, set my cue points, set loops, set all of that, mark the colors that I need it to be so I can see it in Serato before I even open it, and then put it in the crates it goes in. So therefore, when I go to jump on and do something, all my cue points are set for every song, all my loops are set. And it's just the same way we would prepare when we did battles. Like if you see records that have stickers all over them, people's like, why do you have stickers all over your records?
Yeah, you gotta like. I didn't get into the game that early, so for people,
I'm about to explain it to you. I'm about to explain it to you.
Please do.
So if you ever see a DJ with vinyl and there's stickers all over the records, and we would use the round colored stickers, like the pricing stickers, we would use those. We would even use the stickers you put on your lined paper to save the hole. We would use those. Real talk. This is what we would use. I wish I had a record with me to show y'all right now, because that's what we would use. And you would put that basically, and you have to, and listen, it would take time. So you would have to have the record lined up just right with the needle. So those were called needle drops back in the days. So you would see somebody drop it somewhere and then they would take it right to it. Essentially, that's what a cue point is nowadays.
Right.
So just from that practice of doing it back then with records, I brought it over to that, which allows me to run through tracks a lot faster, know my music. And for the last, 15 plus years, I don't use headphones.
Yeah, I've never seen you use them.
I don't use headphones. Matter of fact, I'm a little upset because the headphones I started DJing with, I had been holding on to forever, and I would always have them in my bag. It was almost like a good luck charm. I'd always have them in my bag. I never used them, but I'd always have them in my bag,
Right.
and they broke, and I was so upset. I mean, they were Technique headphones, and the little black stuff that goes all the way around,
Yeah,
all of that was gone. They had wore all of that off. Like, because back in the day, we had to use headphones. That's how we queued up things. But once I took that technique and moved it over, bro, it's a game changer. And like I said, my wife has seen me sit there for hours at a time, sitting there doing that. And for a while, she didn't understand what I was doing until she's seen, the live performance and seeing how easily I move through things. It's a preparation that people don't see, but can also affect your home life, because you have to be prepared for that gig, but you're taking time away from home at that gig, but not only at that gig, before that gig, as you're prepping songs.
Yeah, you're non-existent at home.
Yeah. And essentially it's like you have to learn how to balance that. And that is tough, even if it's like, okay, today I'm going to work on music for 2 hours. I need 2 hours. I need an hour so I can sit down and knock this out. And your significant other has to understand it. My son understands what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm fortunate enough that he's into music enough and understands it. He knows, okay, Dad's got to focus on this for a little while, and then we're going to play or hang out or watch a movie or something like that. And there's times where my wife's wanting to watch a movie, and I'm like, we can watch a movie, but I'm going to sit here with my laptop on my lap.
I got to do what I do.
And keep going, or I decide, okay, I'm going to turn everything off and spend family time. And then everybody goes to bed, and my wife's like, are you coming to bed? Yeah. After I finish this, well, me finishing that turns into 2:00 at night.
Right.
So it's, you have to learn how to balance it. There is no right or wrong way. There is no plan for it. There is no timeline. It really depends on your relationship with your significant other, and they understand what you're doing, especially when you are working a full-time job and doing
then
this.
you have to,
because listen, that gets crazy. That gets crazy. If you're a DJ that's still working a full-time job and you're still trying to prep your music and all that, like, you really have to have that conversation. Like, I need these 30 minutes or these 15 minutes each day to do this, because it's makes you better and gives your client what they're paying you for.
You gotta
balance it. You gotta learn the way,
And it definitely. I mean, I think it takes a conversation with your significant other, and I also think it takes a conversation with yourself too. You have to, at some point in time, you got to ask yourself, how good or how great do I want to be doing this? Because if you really want to be great doing it, if you're really trying to grow a business, there are things that you have to sacrifice. There are things that
100%.
people around you have to accept that they're not going to get from you from time to time or on the regular or whatever the case may be.
And it's not just your significant other or your family.
No, everybody pays
it's
the
your
price.
friends.
Yeah.
Like, I remember coming up as a DJ, like, if I wasn't working, I was at home practicing or working on my music, and everybody's like, oh, let's go out. And I hardly ever went out, because it's like, what if I went out, it was to look at other DJs and understand
Right.
what's going on in the market.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't for me
Yep.
to have a good time. Like, it's so crazy. It's so instilled in me right now. If I hear music, no matter where I'm at, I'm counting in my head. It's just an automatic
Yeah,
thing.
you taught me that.
Yeah, and I don't know, if that came from me playing instruments, because I could play a bunch of different musical instruments before I was a DJ. I played lead trumpet in the band. I played violin, cello, bass, a little bit of drums. I tried trombone, hated it. You know what I'm saying? So before I was a DJ, I could do all that.
Right.
So for the music theory wise, it was easy for me. But like I said, trying to balance life as a DJ, especially now being married with a child and kids and stuff like that, and then trying to run a business on top of not just being a DJ. Like it can be, it's draining.
Right.
Would I trade it? I know. I love it.
Right.
You truly have to love what you do in order to succeed in what we're doing. You know, if you don't love it, when you get burnt out, it's going to show, and your clients are going to know it. And not only that, your family's going to feel it. So you have to learn that balance,
Right.
you know, to be able to balance that. And when your kids get to the age where, you know, they can understand it, it does get a bit easier because you can explain it. But as a father, when my son was younger, having to go leave to DJ, because you remember my kid was overseas.
Right.
So I would literally have to leave the country he was in and go back to work, you know, over here or on a ship or in a different country. And, you know, so there was moments that I kind of missed. I'm gonna say I got lucky because I was there for a lot of his really big first moments. But I could have easily missed his first steps and stuff like that. You know, I was lucky enough to be there when all that happened. But it's a sacrifice you have to be willing to make, and your significant other is gonna have to be riding with you, because it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's why you see a lot of DJs out here that are single or whatever, because not all significant others, you know, understand that, because you're taking away time from them.
Yes, I think it definitely took a toll on my home life, because I didn't really start doing it until I had
Yeah, you were a bit older.
yeah.
See, I
So
started when I
got
was
in
12.
late. Yeah, I got in late, and then, you know, it took Olivia's mother to convince me to go after it. And so, you know, we were both learning in real time. I'm learning what the sacrifice is. She's learning or accepting the
And it's not
enormous sacrifice that
and it's not
has to be
intentional
made.
ignoring them. It's
No.
not
No, absolutely not.
but it's I have to focus on this. I have to perfect my craft. It is a craft. It is art, you know, and it gets tough, you know, because it's like you said, you know, they want you to go for it, but then it's like, wait a minute, the sacrifice. And now for me, I met my wife while I was DJing, so she knew coming in what it was. You know, did we have some problems? Yes, because
Right.
she was not used to the attention I got. You know what I'm saying? And her, oh, she gonna crucify me for this, but her culture is naturally jealous. So we had to work through that. That was things we had to work through in the beginning. We got through that. She's a part of our team. She's there. She does this, does that. So it's great. But my first run, I don't, how do I say that? I'm not my first run, but before I was married and I, you know, went out on my own and did this, it was different. I would sacrifice everything because it was just me.
Right.
You know, I'm putting it all on the table. Like, we in Vegas right now, I'm betting it all on black. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm putting it all, I'm all in.
100.
And I don't know how many times I failed.
100.
And that failure is what helps you progress. Without failure, there's no progress.
Right.
And the crazy thing is we used to fail so much that when we started winning, we didn't know what to do. I will never forget that moment. There was a moment, you know, where me, Lucky, and Tyrone, you know, we were all basically kind of business partners and everything. And we would try so many things and do so much, and we would fail. And it was no big deal. We would back to the drawing board, try something else.
Yeah.
And we knew exactly what to do when we failed. When we started like truly winning together as a team, we all kind of just looked at each other like, what do we do now? Because we knew what to do when we was failing, but that sacrifice was paying off. But in that toll, a lot of our friendships and relationships and significant others, you know, at the time I was single, you know, so dating girls and stuff like that, that stuff fell through the cracks quickly because it's like people couldn't understand. So for me to be where I'm at right now with my wife understanding what I do and being able to be a part of it, I think that's the best thing about the wedding industry. She's able to be a part of it and be around it, and she understands it, you know, and it's tough though. There's still a lot of sacrifice that I do, especially being a business owner. And this is not the only business that I have. So trying to balance that and make sure we're good and make sure that my wife and my son are good. And just not only as a DJ, as a friend and a business partner, making sure you're good. Our DJs are good. Just making sure everybody's good. Cause it's the money's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's our mental health is more important than that. So we have to, you know, hold each other accountable, make sure we're good, things like that. But it does take it's a big sacrifice, like that people don't see, that especially for your home life, bro. It gets rough.
Yeah. You know, being married the first time, it was something I always wanted to do and didn't, because, you know, I've wanted to be a DJ since I was 18 and didn't do it. And so, you know, got married the second time, and, you know, shout out to my daughter's mother. She'll always be the reason. I have to give her props. She
pushed you to it.
She pushed me to do it. But like I said, you know, I learned what the sacrifice really was. And as I came across people like you, people like Lucky, people like Cookie Man and Tyrone and DJ Chris and DJ Biz and Brad West, it's like, you know, the sacrifice that you really realize has to be made. And then, you know, she's learning in real time, like, yeah, I pushed you to do this because it's what you want. But man, the realization of the sacrifice I have to make,
especially running the business,
it takes a toll. Yeah,
running the business where, you know, people see the money coming in a lot of businesses. Well, the first 3 years you ain't making no money. It's coming in, but it's going right back out.
Right.
You know, we just started paying ourselves, you know. Now, no, let me rephrase that. we paid ourselves in gear. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because when you run a business, you can buy all your gear through your business tax write-off. That's a whole nother thing right there. But, you know, it's like, that's how we kind of took care of ourselves. And then now we're like, okay, now we need to start actually cashing ourselves out. But, you know, the first 3 years, it was just work. And, you know, and then our significant others are like,
yeah,
where's the bread?
I need to see something. Yeah,
where's the bread? What are y'all doing?
And that's another way it causes strain too. Especially
money,
when
finances, finances.
Especially when you are the two owners.
Co-owners it does. Yeah. It causes that because now they feel like you're being pulled away from them. It's like, well, where's the benefit?
Right.
You know, and it took my wife a while to see that, and now she sees it and she understands it, and she's all good with it. You know, she's stuck in there, and because I told her, you know, there was a time where I was ready to quit my job, and the only thing stopped me from quitting my job, crazily enough, was me. She kept saying, do it. You're not happy. I believe in what you're doing. I see what you guys are doing. I believe in it. Like, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have quit my job. You know, she was the one because I had a conversation with her. I said, well, if I leave my job, you realize it's all falls on you.
Right.
You know, and for a year or two, and she's like, let's do it. And then when times got hard, I kind of looked at her and was like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
You know, she's like, no. She goes, keep going. She goes, this is what I told you to do. I still stand behind it. And so I'm lucky enough to have somebody in my corner like that. Not everybody has that, but it's all about how you approach it. You know what I'm saying? They have to understand, you know, and part of understanding is having them sit there while you're doing some of that stuff, or come to some of the gigs. You know, my wife, she knows how to my wife knows how to set everything up, break stuff down. You know, like, she's got to the point where she has a role, you know what I'm saying, to where she comes in and does that, where, you know, and she understands what it takes now after DJing all day. And then, like, man, we got to break this down. We got to load this up. Now, when we get to where we're going, we got to unload it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's having them involved, but they have to understand. They have to be willing. They have to be willing to sacrifice as well, because they're sacrificing their time. Because you can't get time back. They're sacrificing their time with you. So yeah, it's tough, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
Family life is tough. Being a DJ, whether you're full time or part time. When you're a full time DJ, people think, okay, you only work on the weekends. That's not true.
Yeah.
I'm answering calls throughout the week. We're doing meetings. We're doing Zoom calls. We're trying to figure out what's our next move. Social media. We're doing content. We're doing podcasts. It's a never ending grind. Right. It doesn't stop.
Yep.
So you have to be, like I said, you have to have that conversation.
It's definitely, it's not every. I don't think every woman is made to handle it. I don't.
We're gonna get in trouble for that one, but you're right.
I don't think every woman is made to. No, I don't. It's and again, shout out to Olivia's mother for pushing me, and being willing to learn at the same time while I'm learning.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, like,
see, for me, I was able to kind of come in and explain it to her because I had already went through it.
See, now, going forward, yeah, but it's
it's tough, bro.
It's man, I kind of lost my. Yeah, going forward, I'll be able to, hey, this is what it is. This is what it takes. This is, you definitely need somebody that has your back.
Because at the end of the day, if you want your business to succeed, and I hate to say it like this is going to sound really bad, but you have to put it first. That has to be what's coming first as far as your time, because what you're not doing, somebody else is doing.
Right.
That's like the book I just finished, The Slight Edge, man. Game changer. Like it'll change your whole mind.
Right. It'll make the difference between us getting the gig and somebody else getting the gig, for sure.
Yeah. It's like me getting a lead right now and waiting till what's today? Today's Wednesday. Wait till Friday to respond.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's there's a lot of moving parts to it, but these weddings, man. Speaking of weddings, what do you think is proper attire for a DJ to wear at a wedding?
So when I first learned, and first off, shout out to Brad West. As clean as you could be without a full-blown suit.
So you don't think that DJ should wear a suit? There's a lot of DJs wearing a suit.
Well, so, learning from the homie Brad, he looked clean. He didn't have a full suit on, but he looked clean as a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started doing weddings, it was a nice pair of pants with a polo, casual shoes, not tennis shoes, not matching Jordans. But you get, we get to a point, and if you pay attention to people on TV now, they wearing suits with Air Force Ones, they wearing suits with Vans. It's like my whole point being suits with Stacey Adams and Alligator or whatever. It's like it's people that kills your feet, and so full blown suit.
So you think that's too much?
I think you can make the argument for either side.
Even in a luxury wedding, you think that's too much? A full blown suit?
No. For a luxury wedding, no.
Okay.
But even
now,
for
if it's
weddings
black tie,
if
it's black tie, you got to wear a suit. Like that's.
I mean, even for weddings we've done, I mean, I think even with how we show up, I think you could make the case. You could make the argument. Suit would be is proper attire, even with what we do.
So, what do you think? So, basically, what I'm saying is, so what do you think is what shouldn't a DJ wear to DJ a wedding? That's where I'm poking at, because I already know where you're gonna go. I already know, folks. We've had this conversation before. Okay, I know where this is about to go. Get your popcorn. It's coming. It's coming.
So, my daughter's mother went to a wedding. The DJ showed up in shorts and an Izod polo with a matching hat.
It was matching. It was matching. Got to give him points for matching.
His Jordans matched, but it was shorts and a polo is not it's not that don't work for me. Like, you know, khakis and a polo for most people
So you think
is decent.
is a polo okay for a DJ to wear?
If I was going, absolutely, I think it's okay.
I know
now,
we have on polos, but we don't wear these away.
If I had to choose now, right now, if you asking me, polo and a nice pair of slacks or what we wear with the matching J's, then I would, you know, because I like to dress, B, because it looks good, and C, because people compliment us on it. Whether you've seen us at a bridal show or you realize when I show up to your wedding, oh, this is how you look. Yeah, I get people who compliment the nice sky blue 13s with the tie and then the Kreation DJs logo on the dress shirt. Absolutely. I mean, but I mean, I don't see anything wrong with a nice pair of pants with a nice, clean, nice fitting.
Here's my thing. Here's my take on it. I'm gonna say this. So for me, I got hundreds of ties, bow ties. I probably have every, and I'm not exaggerating. My wife goes crazy on this. If I open my closet, I probably have every color of dress shirt you can buy in the rainbow. So when I was on ships, we had formal nights and we had to dress up, DJ or not, had to dress up. I would wear a full suit at first because that's what they told me I had to do at first. So, you know, I snazzed it up and I got some pictures out there somewhere. But what I would always find out, it was in my way while I was DJing.
Yeah, I could definitely see where a suit jacket would,
if you're playing one song at a time, fair enough, you know, yeah, you could probably get it done. But what happened was my jacket, and this may have been because I may have not had it tailored right. This may be because of that. My jacket would catch the platter. So it threw me off, and I couldn't, for a while, I couldn't figure out why. And it was because my jacket was hitting the platter. It was sensitive on that. And so I would take off my jacket. So, okay, well, I had a tie on. Now my tie's in my way because in the mixer. So that's why I went to bow ties. And then I got to the point where I was basically wearing vests. Any color vest I could find. I was killing them, bro. With them vests, killing them, okay? I had these vests. And I would probably still do it now. But for as far as what we do, I looked at some weddings and I'm like, okay, I can dress up real nice. But my biggest thing is a lot of DJs will go too far and they look good. Don't get me wrong. I see some DJs with some cold jackets and suits and stuff. I'm just like, I like that.
Right.
But it's like, it's not my day. Why am I trying to outshine the bride or groom? Like, I'm going to say it. Somebody's going to get mad about it. DJs, if you're wearing that sparkly shit, stop it. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Them damn sparkly coats. The 70s wants that shit back. Stop it. Stop it, okay? I'm going to say it. Why are you shining like a goddamn disco ball? I'm sorry. Let me stop cussing before they get me again.
I mean,
but but that's the thing. It's like, that's why I looked at how we were dressing and I was like, how can we be different? And I don't like to wear dress shoes. I love to dress up. I don't like to wear dress shoes. So what I would do on the ships, because we were supposed to wear dress shoes, it was part of what we did. What I would do is I would always have a pair of Jordans that matched my vest and my tie or something like that. So they would look at me and go, it's formal night. You're supposed to, and they would look and they go, it looks good the way you got it. We can't say nothing. So I kind of developed that style on my own while I was out, you know, traveling the world and stuff like that. And that's what I would do. So when we started doing this, I said, okay, we need to do something where we look good, but it's not too much, but it doesn't look out of place. We look like we're supposed to be there. So I said, okay, the dress shirts. I said, okay, we can do black dress shirts. Our logo looks good on black. And I said, let's do embroidered dress shirts. And then you were like, huh? I was like, yeah, embroidered dress shirts. So we did that with the polos as well. And then I'm like, okay, now we'll get Jordans to match the shirts. And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, what?
Yeah.
And I said, no, we get Jordans to match the shirts, which our Jordans aren't loud. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by loud is we don't have on neon green Jordans. Like, it goes with the flow of our outfit. We wear black pants, black shirt. My bow tie is gold, which is in our logo. His tie is the color of the blue that's in our logo. Our Jordans are blue and black.
Right.
You know, so it's just like we found our own style. And I'm going to be honest, when we first went out, I was like, man, I don't know about this. Somebody going to say something. But I had to stop thinking like that because everybody looked the same. But now every wedding show we have done, every wedding we have done, somebody compliments it. They're like, I
People
like the way y'all look, the way
Yeah.
y'all put that together. But I've heard of DJs showing up in T-shirts to weddings, and I'm just like, really? T-shirts? Like a polo at minimum, even a polo and some Dickies, I think is,
Honestly, man, I used to, and that's what I used to do before we jumped Kreation DJs off. That's exactly what I used to do. Like I would have a nice polo, not something that, swallowed me, but I mean, it would basically fit me. And then I would have some khakis or Dickies, and depending on what my color my polo was, I would have, I don't know, like gray ones or black ones
But
or
see,
navy
my thing
blue
is
ones.
also with that is you have to take an accountability of your clientele. If you're servicing a higher end clientele, I don't think you should wear a polo if you're like a higher end clientele. Now, if you're wearing, and I've seen a few DJs do this, if you're wearing a nice polo with maybe like a suit jacket, and I've seen them with jeans and some nice shoes, I can roll with that. It's because it's different. As a DJ, you still got to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be up there uncomfortable trying to DJ.
Yeah, and that suit jacket is I mean,
Like,
I haven't attempted to do it yet, but
I've done it in a suit jacket, and if it's tailored right, or you're getting used to it. See, that was the biggest thing for me was I used to not wear watches and stuff too while I DJ because that was in my way. Just that little bit because I wasn't used to it. So once you get used to it, it's okay. I mean, if you watch people like Jason Janai and Spinelli, they DJ in a suit jacket,
right,
and they're killing it.
And I think what's the dude in Texas, in Dallas?
Justin the DJ?
Yeah.
So they wear suit jackets as well and wear nice stuff too as well. So it really depends on your style. I just feel like you have to know your market and your clientele. And especially if you're getting into the luxury side of it, they have to know how, and that goes back to the client, knowing what they're getting. Because if I paid you $3,000-$4,000 and you showed up in a polo, listen, bro, I'm gonna be hot. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna be hot.
I can see that.
Unless I mean, and it can get deep on the polo thing because you can have on a nice polo. You can make it look good, I guess you could say. There's not really a right or wrong way to dress at a wedding, but there is a wrong way.
It is.
You come in with a damn t-shirt on, bro. Like, listen, we come in with t-shirts on and hoodies because that's how we load in.
Right.
But once we're there, I'm changing clothes. I feel like, there's a lot of guys out there that don't know how to dress for a wedding, and there's not, I want to say there's not a right or wrong way, but there is a right or wrong way.
If you got my experience in the game, you should know not to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody should have to suggest to you or tell you, yo, man, you maybe not.
We just hear I hear the stories from venues of how DJs show up, and it just blows my mind. Like, there's things, bro. There's a venue. This is kind of off subject. There's a venue a DJ showed up, and she told me he asked them if they had a microphone. And I'm like, you're doing a wedding, you got to have a microphone. Now, if you're just starting out, I will say this. If you're just starting out and you have a corded mic, that's good. Get you a long XLR cable and roll with it. Because wireless mics are expensive. Like, we'll get into that another day. But wireless mics, to get a good wireless mic is expensive.
They used to be.
Nah, they still are.
They used to be.
They still are, man. That's a debate for another day.
We can.
That's a debate for another day.
We can save that, but I think I'll just say this before we move back off of that. With a purchase you and I both recently made, things are changing.
Somewhat.
And you can, and I mean, at the beginning, a corded Shure mic SM58, whatever we're talking about with a long corded mic.
That's how I started.
Exactly.
That's what I had.
But let's just say Phoenix Pro does exist now. So, I mean, for the same price that you're going to pay for a Shure mic that's corded. But anyway, yeah, like you said, back.
I'm trying not to because I want to go there. Because I own Phoenix Pro and I own Shores. You know what I mean? So that's, we can debate.
I don't have a Shure. Yeah, I got an EV and I got some Phoenix Pros.
Matter of fact, that's next episode. We're gonna talk about microphones.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna debate about some microphones. Microphones next episode.
100.
But yeah, back to the whole how DJs should and shouldn't dress. I just think use your common sense, you know. And if you don't know, ask other DJs in your area. Look at videos online of DJs DJing. Like, okay, you know, because there is certain things that are acceptable in certain areas that aren't acceptable in other areas. I think there's some DJs that do wear shorts in California, but it's and I'm with you, but it's their style. California's different. You know what I'm saying? So I believe there's some that wear shorts out there, and it's like, but it's at the same time, know your clientele.
Well, I mean, at some point, man, it's hot all over the country. So you basically justifying everybody wearing them.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, I didn't justify it.
Well, I mean, I
just said
that word.
That area, they do stuff like that. So, I mean, in my area, I would never.
I wouldn't, absolutely not. Like
I don't wear shorts on a regular day.
It's almost like it's almost like, again, you know, we had a conversation about, you know, cable placement and hiding things and making sure you look clean. It's to me, it's about, you know, you got to take pride in what you're doing. You got to treat it like it's Game 7. What would you want the DJ at your wedding to do? If
Some
a
people
polo,
don't care.
Then they turn into people who don't care either what they do to their clients. That's essentially what happens.
That's true.
And so, you know, you got to, what would you want the DJ to do? I mean, for what people pay now, what they act like is too much money. It's like people, to me, you know, you're not just paying for what I can do. You're paying for my preparation beforehand. You're paying for my willingness to be there 3 hours ahead of time, so that in case I forget something, I can run somewhere and get it. My time to prepare before I get there, when I get there, how I look when I do the job, how I set up and how my setup looks. You're paying for all of that. You're not just paying for me to show up and play 3 or 4 songs at your ceremony and 40 to 50 songs at your reception and make sure your first dance is right. You're not just paying me for that. It's a whole lot that goes into it. And so, you know, people, again, for me, when I got married to dude, we got married at the Columns in Greenwood. He came with the venue. He was an older cat. He had on a polo. I was cool with it. He came with the venue. Now, if I was going to get married today, because of what we do, it's like, no, I don't.
Your expectations are different.
Yeah, it's like I don't. You know, I mean, I damn near would want Justin the DJ. I damn near would want somebody to show up like Spinelli, or at least do what we do.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that because as a fellow DJ, I mean, I would want the DJ to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because it does hinder what you're doing.
Yeah, because I definitely would rather wear a vest than a suit jacket. I mean, if it were
I'll
me,
put on a vest any day, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll throw on a vest any day. I
100%.
mean, and actually, I kind of missed. I started throwing a vest at one point, but I forgot it would cover up our logo.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
So it's like,
yep.
You know, it's like, you know, do I start getting vests with our logo on them?
I mean,
you know, you may see a change come from me. You may see me come out like he got on a vest. You got on a vest. You know, you out here clean. You know, it's like because I do enjoy it, man, and that's the truth. I enjoy getting dressed up and looking nice.
Oh yeah, I love to dress and be clean, DJing or not.
But you know, it's definitely, you know, it's a debatable topic, but it's just like, you know, think about it like this. Man, I can't even say it because this generation is a little different. I was gonna say,
go ahead.
What I was gonna say is think about actually going to church. But some people, you know, and I'm not gonna go there because we're not gonna get on church. This ain't that type of show,
right?
But I was just trying to say, think of, you know, dressing nice. You're going somewhere. You're like, man, let me throw on a nice polo. Like the most common thing you do when you go out, when people go out, if there's a dress code, think about it like that.
Polo at the least.
Polo at the least.
At the very
least. You ain't getting in the club without
a
polo.
Right.
So you shouldn't be getting in the wedding without a polo.
Right.
DJ.
I want.
So there it is.
So, but yeah, I mean, I started off with the polos and the khakis and the dickies, and you know, I mean, like I said, or sweater vests, whatever the case may be. I mean, I've done that too before we started doing, you know, the dress shirts with the ties and the bow ties and the logo. Yeah, I mean, I did all of that, and I think that's adequate. But you know, because of how we show up, if I was to get married today and book someone, I would want them to I would want there to be a dress shirt and a tie at the least.
That's fair.
I don't know if I would. I don't know how I would. Am I going to?
They don't. For me, they don't have to have a tie. If they got on a dress shirt, I'm cool with
Okay,
that.
well, yeah, that's that same. Okay, I get. Tie or no tie.
And we look at things a little different nowadays because of where we're at. And we've done we've heard so many stories, done so much of that. But
yeah, because like I said, the fact that we show up and get the compliments we get, not only because we're dressed the way we're dressed, but the Jordans match. Mm-hmm. You say, even if you took the Jordans out of the equation, I think the Jordans help because they accentuate your bow tie, blue tie.
My old ass about to buy some Hokas, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm about to put some damn Hokas on them damn boat shoes. They comfortable, bro. Listen, I done went to Skechers. I got some. I do have some slip-on Skechers, folks. I got some dad shoes. Listen.
Well,
but I ain't gonna wear them to a wedding. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I'm 48. I wear Skechers now too. It is what it is. But just like how we went to Nashville, that's kind of how I'd want. That's kind of how I would want.
Yeah.
If I was to get married again, that's how I'd want my DJ to show up. How we showed up in Nashville. Now, minus my red tie, because every time I see that tie on Instagram, I regret it.
Not just the red tie. Another DJ had on the same jacket. And he was mad as hell.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, who was that?
It was which guy? He was on stage hosting. The host had on the same jacket he did. Hey, when the host walked out, he was mad as hell.
I was a little heated. But I thought I was the shit with that jacket on.
He did. It was nice though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But if I had to do that over again, I would choose a different tie. But that red tie or not red tie, like I said, that's how I'd want my DJ to show up.
Well, before we end this, I got one more for you that we can kind of help some DJs out. Do a little educational session here. 3 pieces of gear you think every DJ should have?
I think the most important is the external mixer.
Okay, that's one.
That would be my number one. Number 2, something to get you some footage.
Okay, that's good.
Osmo, Insta360,
your phone,
GoPro.
Use your phone
or that.
No excuses. That's pretty good. Okay, what else?
The third one, man. I'm trying not to say a piece of. I'm trying to stay away from the actual things that we DJ on the booth or the.
Well, that's fair.
I'm trying to stay away from those things, but the external mixer will always be first. A camera second, and then.
Now this is, if I would say, if you're starting out, no, just period. No, period. Just, yeah. What's the third one? Tell me what the third one is. I'm curious to know what your three, because you said camera. That's a really good one.
Yeah, camera.
Especially now this day and age.
And
because 10 years ago nobody cared.
Exactly, and the cameras that we have accumulated. It's not like you can go and get them for a honey bun, and so that's maybe they shouldn't be on the list. But to me, asking me, it's very important.
So what's your third thing? I'm curious now, because I kind of got mine in my head now. I think I can run all 3 off right now.
I guess I would say the ability to light up the room.
Really?
Yeah, because like I said, I'm trying to stay away from which controller or which turntables or which this or which that. Bun booth, Odyssey booth, Pro X booth.
Well, I'm just saying that the average DJ is able to go out and buy. Not to say they can't purchase a bun booth, but that is a big expense.
Or yeah, I don't know. I want to say something lighting related, or my other thing would be, a second, because I've had a computer act a fool on me in the mix.
You think every DJ should have a backup computer?
I kind of do. Only because
so my three are a little different.
Only because I've had one where I thought, okay, my music's not reading on the hard drive, or my music on my computer. I've had it work both ways, where I thought my computer was going to just I've had one over. I've had a fan stop working. So I mean, definitely, like I said, definitely
and
external mixer 1, camera for footage 2. I would probably say the ability, the like lighting.
really,
Yeah. I mean, because and that's
I,
and that's because of you. Like, I mean, that's
I'm gonna be honest with you. Lighting's not even on my 3.
I'm surprised.
Here's my 3. So my 3. Number 1, the number one thing, and you might fight me on this one. Wireless microphone, a good wireless microphone. Number 2, external mixer.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 things are key. And number 3, I would say at this point in what's going on in the world, a camera, definitely a camera, so you can capture footage.
Right.
You asked me that 5-10 years ago, I wouldn't have said a camera.
Right.
And the reason why I say microphone, you have toast, you have speeches, you have to make announcements. You want a good microphone because you don't want dropouts, you don't want feedback, so that's why I say microphone. And of course the mixer, because when you use an external mixer, it changes your sound. One, you can get more out of your speakers and more out of your sound without pushing them too hard, because you can control it, EQ things out and be able just to mute things and different things like that. And then like I said, as far as the camera to get footage, GoPro, action camera from Osmo Pocket 3, Insta360. I mean, something to capture footage, to capture you DJing, because right now we are in a digital world to where people want to see that. So
They want to see everything.
Yeah, they want to see that. So Those are my 3 that I think you should absolutely have. What do you guys think? Put that down in the comments. I want to know what you guys' 3 things you think a DJ should absolutely have, period. Like, so put those down in the comments. Make sure you guys like, subscribe as well. Yeah, man. So,
all right. Well, yeah, I think that's a wrap. Episode 2, Kreation DJs podcast. DJ Jtorcher, DJ Jamal. See you on the next one.